Greetings and salutations, everybody, and welcome to the CanUK podcast, the podcast done by fans, for fans of everything nerdy. I am your host, Lord X, and I welcome you to the show this week. Joining me this week, he is not one of the 0.04%, he is Israel Pacheco.
That's pretty funny. It is a PlayStation 4 episode, so yep, that works. So yeah, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing great. Yourself?
I'm pretty good. Well, kind of good. We'll get into that later once we talk about the PS4. 'Cause I had an interesting experience on launch day, but we'll talk about that soon enough.
Yep. It has definitely been an interesting week. The new generation of consoles is finally here, with the Xbox One releasing these just this coming Friday. So yeah, next gen is officially here.
It's crazy to think that. Just a few months ago, we were at E3, not physically at E3, but I wasn't at E3. That would have been cool, but we were just talking about both of these consoles, and now PS4 is out there, and Xbox One is about to be released next Friday.
Mm-hmm. And the Wii U still saying, "Remember me."
I'm sure it'll do well once Mario hits that Friday also. The Friday that the Xbox One comes out. I think I might be picking that up too, because that looks really good.
Cool. And along with the launch of a new console, there was a whole batch of news stories this past week in regards to TV, some movie news, a documentary. And we're going to dive into just about everything. But we're going to kick off the show this week with, the last few weeks we did prepping for next gen. Since here, this week, we're talking about the PS4. I was among one of the crazy people that went down to my local store at about 10:30 a.m. in the morning and secured my spot in line. Number 2.
That's pretty good, yeah.
But yeah, thankfully we didn't have to stand in line because they were giving out numbers. Though, granted, me and my friend, we were still crazy, so we spent the entire day at the mall pretty much.
And you had yours reserved, so...
Yeah.
But yeah, I can understand. You still want to be there, just in case.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a fun time either way. And I managed to get on Twitter a little bit while I was there.
Mm-hmm.
But let's talk about the PS4. I mean, we're going to ignore the bad stuff for the most part because, like I kind of alluded to in the opening, it's a very, very small percentage of people that have been getting problems with the system.
Yeah, I did the statistics, and I believe it's 4,000. Like, when you do the percentage, like, the story we're going to get into about them selling 1 million units, it's 4,000 that would have potentially a failure rate, which I can understand if you think about, and those 4,000 people going online, it's a small minority, but it's a vocal minority, you know?
Yeah.
And not that we're kissing Sony's ass, but we're just saying the facts, like, statistically.
And this is going to be common with any kind of piece of technology launching. There's going to be problems with it. In fact, I would have thought it would have been higher than, 0.04%. But yeah, that's, it's not bad. I think I've only known one person really that's been affected. A member over on epicbattleaxe.com has mentioned that she and her husband have had problems with their PS4, and that's about the only...
I'm confused. Is it 0.4 or 0.04?
0.04, I believe. Yeah. But yeah.
Times... I gotta do the math again.
Welcome to the math segment of the show.
400. It would be 400 if it's 0.04 because you gotta move the decimal places to. Yeah, it would be 400. But I was thinking it was 4,000 if it was 0.4. But
it might be. I'm pretty sure I heard it was 0.0.
I don't know. They kept switching up. I gotta admit that. Like sometimes they would say it's 0.4 and then they corrected themselves. Yeah. I don't know the exact number, but it's still not, too big of a number.
All right. Well, with the bad out of the way, let's talk about the good. And first and foremost, within the first 24 hours, PlayStation 4 has sold 1 million units.
That, for some reason, that made me think of Dr. Evil from Awesome Power. 1 million, gajillion, papillion, blah, blah. That stupid shit he says.
Yeah, 1 million units. So, about the media saying that console gaming is dying,
Mm.
yeah, I think this proves otherwise. But yeah, that's quite the impressive sales number.
Yeah, it is. I know they said worldwide they had 1 million pre-orders, and I believe this is 1 million within North America, right?
Yep.
So yeah, so they're doing really well, which is great to hear because
Yeah, especially
there's a
coming
lot
out
of
of especially coming out of North America, which technically has been Sony's weak spot.
yeah, that's true. I didn't even think about that, especially over this last console generation when Microsoft was kicking their ass in North America.
Yep.
But yeah, it's great to see that they did, reach the 1 million within the 24-hour period. That, that's great. I don't know what else to say. It's great to hear this, and like you were saying, the whole console gaming is dead. I've never understood that argument, honestly.
Yeah, me
Like,
neither.
I know a lot of people are like saying tablets are cool. There's nothing wrong with them.
Hmm.
They got their own unique experiences that work on the tablet, but I always prefer physical buttons and having consoles instead of a tablet. It's a better experience in my opinion.
Hmm.
But to each their own. I know some people really enjoy the tablets.
Yep. Okay, well, going along here. On launch night, GT and Spike TV, they had a little pre-launch event going on, and there were some announcements. One of which I didn't put on here was
The Last of Us?
The Last of Us DLC. Yes, that was announced for PS3. Seems like a bit of a prequel to the main story, showing Ellie and her friend and what happened between them. It was the Metal Gear Solid 5 thing I didn't include here in the notes, which I just remembered. The exclusive content coming to the PS.
Oh, we can still talk about that though, sure.
Yeah. I believe it's just an extra mission, a flashback type deal thing. Seemed kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like I wouldn't say like a remake, but like I don't know if it's a reimagining either of the whole Shadow Moses section of the original Metal Gear Solid. It's going to be exclusive to PS3 and PS4. Unfortunately, it's not David Hayter who's doing Classic Snake, which I know is I'm disappointed with that, honestly. I've been disappointed with this game ever since it went to Kiefer Sutherland, right? Is that the new voice act?
Yeah.
The guy I do not know what happened between David Hayter and Kojima Productions. I really do not understand because that's such an iconic character. It's like you can't top David Hayter, and he's so well like associated with that character. Like people know Solid Snake is David Hayter. It's just maybe one day it'll come to light, whatever happened. And I truly don't know, but it's cool they're doing this flashback sequence, but I don't know. I have mixed feelings about this whole Metal Gear Solid 5 Round Zero / Phantom Pain and how they're handling. I don't know. How do you feel about this?
I'm going to wait until they put out the Ultimate Collector's Edition, which will include every single fucking game in the franchise at this point.
They've done that, like 3 times already?
Yeah.
Within the last 3 years? Oh, man.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Kojima will do it again, but, yeah, I mean, I'm very interested in the game. It's going to look nice. It's going to be a nice movie to watch, I'm sure. But, yeah. Alright, well, going with some of the other announcements that was said, one from Naughty Dog, of course. We got a teaser trailer for Uncharted on the PlayStation 4.
Yes. Yeah. I'm a huge Uncharted fan, and I was actually going to stay up, but this is one of those other nights that I was just tired,
Mm-hmm.
And I was actually expecting this. I was like, it has to be Uncharted, the game that they're going to reveal.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of disappointing though, the teaser, because it really didn't show too much. It was just narration
But
by you could like break it down to,
mm-hmm.
there's little hints within the trailer as to what they're going to go to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I think I like that idea though. I like the way like the narrative, like the guy talking, which was really good. It gives you that tease without really showing you. Well, basically they didn't show anything, but without revealing that much, like there's something really big coming. It's like, is this guy, out to kill Drake? Is he related to Drake in some way?
Yeah, the more that I've seen like the teaser trailer a couple of times, but my initial reaction was, disappointment, because I was
Mm-hmm.
expecting a bigger reveal. But
Yeah.
now that I've seen it, a couple times, it's kind of cool what they did. Sure, I would have preferred them to do something more
Mm-hmm.
extensive, but
And besides, we don't know like how far this game is in production right now. I mean, at well, we can hope for the best and we get it next year, but this might be a 2015 game. I hope not, but it could be. uh, yeah. Hopefully we get a.
yeah, I think this is going to be a 2015 game.
Mhm. Who knows? We may get another teaser at the Video Game Awards. Not the VGAs anymore, the VGXs. I think they're calling them now.
Oh, really? They changed the name?
They changed the name, yeah.
Hmm.
But
Yeah, I
yeah,
didn't watch. Did they announce that at this reveal that they were changing the name or something?
yeah. Jeff Keighley mentioned it. So
Mm.
yeah,
But
there's
yeah, I actually want to get into like briefly some of the things that I saw within the trailer, and there's been a couple like analysis and things like that.
okay.
People are talking about the pirate motif with the map, and maybe they're trying to do something like Assassin's Creed, like Black Flag, and something
Yeah.
with pirates, and that leak
Mhm.
from Naughty Dog from a couple months ago
Mhm.
that showed some type of characters in pirate garb, basically, and people are saying they might think it's a prequel, or it might be taking place in different time periods.
I doubt
It's
that.
it's kind of, yeah. I don't think, maybe it goes back and forth, but
Mm.
people are also saying that Nathan Drake is not in this.
Oh
Come on,
yeah.
come on. Nathan Drake is gonna be in this, and
Mhm.
but one thing I found kind of interesting, which I don't think any of the like major outlets have picked up on it. Maybe I was looking too deep into it,
Mhm.
but towards the end of the trailer, they have like a skull, and then in Latin, there's a phrase that is one of the 7 last words of Christ, and it
Mhm.
says like, "This thou shall be with me in paradise."
Mhm.
And that got me thinking, maybe like there's always some supernatural like archaeological or like artifact or something like that they're looking for. So I was thinking maybe they're gonna look for some like Christian relics.
Hmm.
And of course, the series is heavily influenced by Indiana Jones, and they've never directly dealt with like Christianity. They've done the original game, the second game, and the third game, and they were all like different types of mythologies.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know. It'd be interesting if that were the case.
Yeah, that would be. I mean, maybe the Lost Ark of the Covenant, maybe, or um, why is that name of that thingamabob not coming to my mind right now?
Oh, the Holy Grail.
Yes, the Holy Grail. Thank you.
Yeah. Because I was thinking, since it's like the last words of Christ, maybe it has to do with like the actual cross itself. Like that
Hmm.
would be considered like an artifact, like a Christian relic. So maybe with the pirate motif, someone stole it and
Mhm.
it's in a sunken ship or something. I don't know. Maybe that'd be interesting though.
Mhm. Totally. Yeah. And the other announcement that came out was a new trailer for Infamous Second Son, and the release date, which is now March.
Boo.
March 21st, to be exact, which kind of pisses me off because Dark Souls 2 is out that month as well.
Hmm.
But hey, the
That's
game...
current. That's I was about to say current gen, but technically now it's
Last gen,
the
yeah.
last gen. This is good. We're gonna have to get used to this over the next couple months. Like
Mhm.
current gen, last gen, next gen, pre-gen. I don't know. The Wii U, it's somewhere in there. 'Cause I feel
Next
bad for
gen,
the Wii
current gen, past gen, and the Wii U. That's your four
U.
categories, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, this like you said, it's kind of disappointing. I was expecting this to be released in February.
Hmm.
That was the indication that Sucker Punch was giving. They was gonna release in February, but I guess they needed some more time to polish the game up, or
Yeah.
I don't know exactly. But
Maybe you want to go head to head with Titanfall.
that's true. Hmm, that is true. That comes out that month too.
Hmm.
I didn't think about that. Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe they want their, quote unquote killer app to be out the same time as Microsoft's killer app. And they're also doing a bundle. So,
Yeah.
that's interesting. The game looks amazing though.
Oh, it
And
does.
like I haven't, gotten too much into the Infamous series. I played the first one briefly and I couldn't get into it. Then the second one I didn't play it, but I ended up playing like the Halloween DLC,
Hmm.
Festival of Blood, and I really enjoyed that for whatever reason. So it actually gives me time to play through Infamous 1 and 2
Hmm.
to, play through those games and see how those go. I know how they end now because everybody spoiled
Yeah.
it by this point,
Yeah.
but that doesn't bother me. I think Cole will end up being in this game
Mm.
reference or something
Yep.
somehow.
Hmm. All right. Well, that was the announcements that came out launch night and everything else. So Israel, what was your experience on Friday with PlayStation 4 release?
Well, I had pre-ordered my PS4 through Amazon because I didn't want to go out launch night. I didn't want to go to a midnight release. I just want to stay home, be comfortable, and not have to deal with the cold, not have to deal with the lines and the employees at whatever retail store I would have pre-ordered at.
Hmm.
And launch day comes. I'm waiting for UPS. I see the UPS truck come, passes right by my house. Start freaking out. I'm like, no, where you go? Where's my PlayStation 4? And so I contact Amazon. They tell me it's guaranteed for a release date delivery because I have the Amazon Prime membership.
Hmm.
And they're like, okay, it's going to be there. Just contact us at 6 p.m. 6 p.m. comes, it's not here. I contact them again.
Hmm.
They tell them, oh, it'll be there. Just contact us at the end of the day, which for them is 8 p.m. I contact them at 8 p.m. Still no console.
Oh.
And the tracking information hadn't updated for whatever reason. I guess they might have shipped it too late. They were supposed to ship it earlier. And by 8 p.m., I was, pretty mad because I wanted to have that console on launch day. And I had off that day, too. So I had everything prepared. I was like, I'm going to be home. UPS is going to come. I'm going to open it, maybe do some YouTube videos on it, maybe do another of the thousands of unboxing videos and, enjoy it. But luckily, customer service for Amazon was nice enough to offer me a $30 credit for a future purchase through Amazon. They extended my Prime membership a month, and finally the information updated, and they told me I would have it by Monday, which is tomorrow from the day we're recording this. So, yeah, it kind of sucked because everybody was, over the weekend
Yeah.
playing all their PS4 games. I was checking out some of your streams, which are really cool.
Hmm.
So yeah, I was disappointed. I don't know how I feel. I don't know if I'll ever pre-order a console from Amazon again to get it launch day. But at the same time, I ended up saving some money if you think about it with the $30 credit they gave me. So
Hmm.
it wasn't too bad. I was pretty furious throughout the day, but by the time they gave me the credit and they were nice enough to tell me when I was actually getting it, I was like, okay,
Hmm.
not too bad.
No, it doesn't arrive tomorrow. Burn Amazon to the ground.
Oh yeah, yeah. If it doesn't arrive tomorrow for whatever reason, it's gonna be hell to pay. I'm gonna get my infamous powers and blow up the warehouse. Oh yeah. So yep, that's about it for my launch day experience,
Mm-hmm.
which sucked, but hopefully I should be getting it tomorrow. And I don't think I'm gonna do an unboxing video. I'll just probably do like an impressions,
Mm-hmm.
like a quick of like how big the console is, because I haven't seen any of the demo units or anything like that. So I still haven't seen the physical console before.
Mm-hmm.
The Xbox One, I have seen it, and it's pretty damn big.
Mm-hmm.
But
It's smaller than what I thought it was like, though.
mm. Oh yeah, like I went to Best Buy and I saw it. I was like, this isn't that big, but then I realized the other half was like behind the piece of plastic. So like the way you look at it, it looks pretty, it looks like a good size. It looks pretty small, but then you realize that the second half of the console isn't like behind the plastic. And then I was like, oh, that's pretty big. So, which isn't too bad because if you have enough space in your entertainment center, but I don't expect to pick one up this holiday season, maybe next one
Mm-hmm.
when there's more games out. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's about it. Wrapping up my PS4 launch day situation.
Mm-hmm. Well, as for mine, it was a little bit better, as I mentioned before, lineup time or not. First impressions of the system. I was really quite impressed. When I took it out, it's a lot smaller than what it really looks like.
Mm.
But it's small, but it is, it's quite hefty in weight.
Yeah, it doesn't feel cheap.
No, not at
That's
all.
good.
The controller, oh my god, it's sexy as hell.
Yeah, that I've gotten my hands on because I bought an extra one like a week and a half ago, and that controller is really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm speechless onto it because it is so damn nice. The triggers feel great for the first time in ages. The touchpad is really good. Going with Killzone, you use it for your little owl drone, so you swipe upwards for one attack mode, down for shield, left for a paralyzing type attack on enemies, and to the right for the zipline mode. So there's a lot of uses that can actually come in effect too. The user interface, it's nice. It flows really well. It's going to take a bit getting used to, that's for damn sure. But,
yeah, after having the cross media
Yeah.
bar since the PSP, so
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, it's definitely going to take a while to get used to, but I'm enjoying it quite a lot so far. Going into the store is like seamless now. You click onto it and like boom, there it is. Like
Great to hear because oh man, ever since they made the new storefront, I really don't know why they changed it because it looks better visually. It has like a cleaner look,
Yep.
but I just enjoy the original PlayStation Store so much more. I never had issues finding things, and this one to find things, the stupid keyboard that you got to put one letter in at a time is terrible.
Now they kept that same kind of design for the store.
Oh no!
But it is a lot faster. Like,
Mm.
going through it is a lot smoother. Yeah, hopefully they do another redesign in the future, but for now, it is the same, but it is a lot nicer. It flows a lot nicer.
Yeah, that's great to hear. That's what I've been hearing a lot, that the OS is faster and, more like seamless than the PS3 one.
Yep, definitely. Going in and out of games, too, is great. Pressing the PS button, like, boom, back to the UI right away. What else can I mention here? The streaming and video capture and everything is really nice. As you know, I streamed a bit of Resogun, and
Yeah, that was really cool, especially from like a spectator standpoint. It looked really good for something that was just going straight through the console.
mm-hmm. Yeah, and it is so seamless to set up. I mean, I had my Twitch account now for a while, and all I had to do on the PS4 was hit the share button, go over to broadcasting, click, boom. They'll ask you Twitch or Ustream. Select Twitch, of course, because Ustream sucks. Um, go on to Twitch, and the first time, I just had to log in simply that way. But ever since
Mhm.
now, when I go back, all I have to do is name whatever I want to call my broadcast, which it'll stay the same of like the last thing that you use. So if you're playing Resogun, at one point you stop, take a break or whatever, and you come
Mhm.
back, boom, the same name is there ready to go for you. But as soon as you select the name, you click start, and it's almost instantly streaming right away.
Mhm.
Because I've been watching my own stream on my PC while I was loading it up, and yeah, it starts almost instantaneously after I hit stream. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
have one question about that. Do you know if they allow you to archive them yet? Like the streams? Because I know Sony was kind of strange about that. They weren't really clear.
yeah, it hasn't been archiving mine yet, but uh, I saw Greg Miller over on IGN. He tweeted out a couple today saying that, or he was streaming DC Universe Online and I think
Mm.
Assassin's Creed today, and both of those are now archived on his channel. So
Maybe you have to go into the settings or something. That's
uh,
interesting. I gotta look
try it.
that up.
Yeah, I tried that. I googled afterwards, and they said it wasn't available on launch day, but it was coming.
Hmm.
So yeah, I'm not sure if it's working fine now or Greg did something else in order to get his streams to archive, but who knows?
Hmm.
But it wasn't working earlier, so yeah. Hopefully
Maybe
that.
he ran them like outside of his PS4 somehow instead of like streaming through the PS4. They use some other device. I don't know.
But yet,
That's interesting.
yeah, but yet you can't do that yet because
Oh yeah, they have the what's
H
that called? HDCP, like the
HTCP, I think.
something like that.
Yeah, that doesn't allow you to stream on Oka's Screw Attack was complaining about that because they did a full day live stream on Friday with the PS4 and they had to use the Twitch streaming through the PS4 and able to stream. They couldn't do
Hmm.
it any other way.
Yeah. So there's things that they could tweak, and of course they need to add some sort of YouTube functionality to the console.
Yep.
Maybe because I know if you use Twitch, you could connect it to your YouTube channel and then somehow upload the videos there or archive them there.
Yep.
But you can't do that yet with the PlayStation 4, which
No.
is a little disappointing. But I can
Yeah.
understand it's just at launch right now. Hopefully, a couple months down the line, maybe during those months we were talking about earlier, when
Yeah.
there's no game releases, they could be pushing out some patches and adding some support for YouTube and other things like that.
Yeah, and so far too with like pictures and video that you record and upload, you can only upload those two things to Facebook and Twitter so far.
Mm.
So yeah, bit unfortunate, but yeah, it's launch week. Not everything's going to be there.
Yeah, it's understandable. I just hope within like the next 6 months there's some sort of YouTube integration.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, I think that we'll wrap things up there. I have a few more things to talk about in our been playing section, but let's dive into the news stories of the week before we get too carried away. So Israel, do you want to kick us off this week?
Sure. The first one we have here is kind of interesting, and that is there has been a Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor announced, which is, I believe, Lord of the Rings game, right?
Mm-hmm.
By Warner Brothers Interactive, developed by Monolith Productions. It's going to be coming out for PS3, PS4, Xbox One, and Xbox 360. When was the last Lord of the Rings game we had? It was a couple years ago, right?
It was the MOBA, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, I think. So that was probably like a year or two ago, I would have to say.
Yeah, that or
But,
the Lego one.
oh yeah, that one too, of course. But like a third-person Lord
Yeah.
of the Rings type of game,
Oh,
we
yeah.
haven't seen one I know they had a lot of those back on like the PS2 Xbox generation.
Yep.
But yeah, this was just announced. It's coming, to current gen, previous gen, whatever the hell you want to call it, last gen, all these gens,
But
all
not the
gen
Wii U.
gamers. Like, yeah, not the Wii U, of course, but because that's its own category.
Mm.
But
Not the
yeah, this is
PC either.
interesting. Oh, not the PC. That's kind of surprising.
Mm.
Especially with how these consoles are supposed to be very similar in architecture to, PC. Mm.
Mm-hmm.
So it should be out maybe by 2015.
Yep.
So
It'll be interesting, I'm sure. As far as I know, it doesn't take place within like what we know from the Lord of the Rings.
mhm.
See here, the story involves the Rings of Power, but otherwise seems totally separate from the Lord of the Rings canon. Though Warner promises it will align. So yeah.
Maybe they're, trying to take some liberties with the property and do something original instead of just doing, the same thing
Yeah.
that people are accustomed to from the films and the books.
Yeah. So yeah, like a prequel even to The Hobbit.
Yeah, that would be interesting to, for them to do their own thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's coming next year, year after. Probably if it'll get delayed a few times, 2017, and it'll be out.
It would be like South Park. Oh,
Alright.
poor South Park.
Well, moving on to releases from Ubisoft. Thanks for the segue. Uh,
Yeah, that ended up working quite well.
Rayman Legends is coming to next gen this February. That's right. Rayman Legends has been announced for the PS4 and Xbox One, and it's going to be coming out in February.
This seems kind of strange because it was supposed to come out last February on the Wii U as an exclusive.
Yep.
Then they pushed it back to September to release it on PS3, 360, and Vita.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're releasing it again in February.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they just want to, sell more units of the game because, as it says here, the game in total has sold roughly 1 million copies on PS3, 360, Vita, and Wii U,
Mm-hmm.
which is really disappointing because this
Yeah.
is hands down one of the best games I've played this year. I played it on Wii U.
Mm-hmm.
It is so damn good.
Yep.
It's such a great platformer, throwback to the glory days of like the 16-bit generation.
Mm-hmm.
And man, it's really disappointing this game did not, meet their sales expectations, and
Yeah.
now they're bringing it to next gen, but I don't think people are going to care at this point, which is kind of sad.
Mm.
Mm.
Well, since it is coming out now for the PS4, I'm probably going to buy that version.
Yeah, that's true, since you haven't picked it
Yeah.
up. I'm sure should look,
Mm-hmm.
technically better somehow. I don't know
Yeah.
if they'll add some like new effects or shaders to like the UBR engine, but
60 frames per second.
1080p.
Yeah.
It was already 1080p on Wii U, I believe. So
Yeah.
yeah, as long as this could get into the hands of more people, I just feel like it's had a rough
Yeah.
rough last year and a half since we first heard about this game, and I wish it would sell better, honestly. But
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I'm thinking it's going to be a fun game to stream as well. So
yeah, definitely some of like the more difficult levels towards the end of the game.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, they would work very well. Even the music levels, those would work great streaming them. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, personally, I won't be picking this up again because like I said, I bought it on Wii U and I finished it on Wii U.
Mm-hmm.
But since you haven't picked it up, yep, this will be great to pick
Now,
up.
hopefully they do add in one thing. Online co-op or multiplayer, whatever you want to call it. Because it's something they didn't even do with the current gen versions. Alright, so you've got our next story here.
So with my crazy family screaming in the background, uh, next story we have here is a 100-minute documentary available for free on Minecraft is coming out pretty soon
It's
on
out.
YouTube. Oh, it's already out?
Yep.
Wow. That's great to know. So yeah, Minecraft, which is ridiculously popular,
hmm
it's sold how many units so far? Wow, 33 million? That is nuts. That is
hmm
crazy. Well, Minecraft is so popular. My dogs are barking in the background going nuts. I guess they must be Minecraft fans. But, yeah, I know my brother loves this game to death. Like I personally, it's not for me. I tried it out. I know you're also a fan of the game. I'll
Yep.
probably give it another shot when the PS3, PS4 Vita version comes out. But I'd actually watch this, honestly, even if I'm not too big into the game.
hmm
I would, love to hear the story of Mojang and Minecraft because it's one of those games that I think we're gonna remember
Yeah.
years down the line. It's one of those landmark games that came out of nowhere and became incredibly successful with such a simple concept and simple design, simple graphics. It's nothing extremely impressive.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Well, moving on to our next story here. Blizzard is looking into 4-player remote play for Diablo 3 on PlayStation 4. So yeah, Blizzard is looking into the possibility of up to 4 players participating in Diablo 3 on the PlayStation 4 using the remote play feature with the PlayStation Vita. So that would be fucking awesome.
That'd be interesting. Like, so four Vitas would be playing at the same time.
Yeah.
Hmm. If they could get that working, that'd be pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
But it'd be kind of strange at the same time because if you have four people in the room and they're all playing the same thing instead of yeah, you might as well be on the TV. And I could understand maybe somebody's watching the TV and you want to play on your Vita.
Well, I mean, it gives everybody their own screen too, so you're not like all stuck.
Oh, you're all hogging the same screen. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good point. They seem to be adding a lot of new features for the PS4 version of Diablo, and I think there were some things I heard about with the touchpad too, right? That they were gonna try to implement some of the button presses that they didn't have since it wasn't like on PC, and maybe they could bring that over. So I've never played Diablo, and those types of games aren't my cup of tea, but it's great that they're adding more things for the PS4 version.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's definitely the version that I'm waiting to pick up and play.
Mm.
All right. So moving onwards, you've got our first batch of movie news.
So the first one we have here is a Fantastic Four reboot has slipped the release date. It was originally supposed to come out November 14th, 2014. Now it's coming out March 6th, 2015. So that's a pretty big slip to go from, the holiday season to the, almost spring season.
Yep. And besides, 2015 needs more comic book movies because clearly there's not enough coming out right now.
Yeah, it seems like there's so much stuff coming out that year. But yeah, I saw the first Fantastic Four movie and I thought it was okay. I couldn't really get into it. I never ended up seeing the sequel because I didn't.
Oh, you're so lucky. You are so lucky.
Because I didn't enjoy the original so much. I thought it was okay. But would I watch it again? No. So when the sequel came out, I was like, I'll pass on that. So, but it'll be interesting now that they're rebooting the series and to see how they handle this.
Yep.
Yeah. Which I'm wondering if they're going to be tied into the whole Marvel universe, how they've done with all the different Marvel films, and then leading up to the Avengers, and then doing Guardians of the Galaxy, and I'm just wondering how they're gonna tie
Well,
everything together.
well, Fantastic Four is still owned by Fox, so we won't be seeing
Ah,
Fantastic Four with the Avengers anytime soon. But there
man,
is,
they really got to get over that.
yeah,
They need to stop doing these exclusive contracts with different companies and
yeah,
just come to terms
hmm
and
but
do like an amazing film.
yeah, but there is the chance though, because Fox does own the X-Men as well, that there might be Fantastic Four and X-Men crossover. That is a
Mhm.
possibility. But yeah, I am looking forward to the reboot. Uh, it has the director of Chronicle doing it, so I love that movie. So I'm very interested to see how he's going to do the Fantastic Four. And besides, it can't be any worse than that fucking last abomination of a movie.
It's gonna be all shaky cam, like Chronicle. It's gonna
Still,
be all first person.
still better than Cloud Galactus. All right. Well, our next story here is a new report says that Buffy and Cabin in the Woods director Drew Goddard will write the Daredevil TV series. Oh,
Bam.
God, yes. If this ends up being true, thank Christ, because this would be really, really awesome to get this director on.
This is the one that's gonna be featured on Netflix, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I've, caught some episodes of Buffy here and there. It was kind of, you know, I don't, what would be the proper term? Like ahead of my time or before my time or I don't know.
Before your time.
Yeah, like Buffy came out during a time period that I wasn't into that type of stuff. I was still a kid, so
Yeah.
I never really got into it. But Cabin in the Woods, I thought was quite good. I thought it was really well done. It was kind of cheesy, but then creepy. It just had like it felt original to me.
hmm
So for this person to be involved with the Daredevil TV series, and that'll be great. Because speaking of, we were talking just about Fantastic Four, Daredevil, the original movie. Oh man,
uh,
yeah. Moving forward.
mhm. Yes, you've got news on one of the other Netflix Marvel shows.
So yeah, the Dexter and Twilight writer. Did I read that right? Twilight, as in the
Yep.
vampire movies,
Yep.
to still run Marvel and Netflix Jessica Jones series. So
Now, Twilight aside, she wrote the first 4 seasons of Dexter,
mhm.
which 1 and 4 was probably the absolute best in that TV show's franchise.
Which was the villain in four? I'm trying to remember.
John Lithgow,
Okay, yeah, that was he was a what was his
the
name?
Trinity Killer.
Yeah, that one exactly. And the first season was just his brother, right?
Yep, the Ice
Yeah.
Front Killer.
Yeah, those were really good seasons. Yeah. So, I find it funny though that she wrote parts of Twilight. It's
Yeah.
it's like when you put them together, Dexter and Twilight, they seem like such different, properties.
hmm
So, maybe this will end up well. I'm not familiar with the Jessica Jones character from, the Marvel universe.
Yeah, she's a bit of a obscure character for sure. Who's
Yeah, because I know Daredevil, but Jessica Jones, I haven't heard about her before.
hmm
So yeah, it must be more niche, more obscure, but it'll be cool if
hmm
it becomes popular and then they have another character that they could bring life to and
hmm
bring to newer people.
Yep. She is a good character to look up on too, because she has a really good backstory to her. One of which, in some aspects, won't be able to be explored in the TV show. But
Hmm.
otherwise, yeah, she is a really interesting character. To put things simply, she got powers in an accident, like most superheroes do. She ended up being an Avenger for a while until a supervillain, I think it was Purple Man. I think it was Purple Man. He did some really fucked up things to her, and basically afterwards she was like, nope, I'm done being a superhero, and basically goes and becomes a private detective.
Hmm.
And still, like, intertwines in the superhero world, but in that capacity, and later on she eventually marries Luke Cage, who is one of the other TV series we're getting, and kind of slides back into being an Avenger again, but not so much.
Hmm.
Yeah, she is a really interesting character, and one of the more original characters in, well, I say recent Marvel lore, but that would be about the last 20 years.
Yeah, that's recent in terms of, the history
Yeah.
of
Yeah,
Marvel.
true, true. All
Mm.
right then. Well, moving on to one of our next stories. Hey, some good news about the X-Bone. That's free games for gold is coming to the Xbox One. I wonder when they don't say when this is going to start. It's going to start, but given their current track record with games for gold, expect this in year 5 of the Xbox One's life cycle when they can give out Dead Rising 3 for free.
I was just about to say something like that because the games they've been giving out are pretty damn old. Like, come on, Halo 3 came out 2007. Assassin's Creed 2 came out, 2009.
Yep.
Dead Rising
Well,
2. Oh,
look at November's 2 games. I think they were like, I think year 2 of the Xbox 360's life cycle, or maybe further on anyway. They're good games from what I've heard, but they're 2 indie game titles, Xbox Live Arcade titles that were released for a combined total of $30, I believe.
it's it's nowhere near as good as PlayStation Plus.
No, I mean,
Like,
we got
at least you could keep the games technically though, because their
Yeah.
service allows you to keep the games even if your subscription ends,
Mhm.
which you don't have that feature on PlayStation Plus. But when it comes to more recent stuff, PlayStation Plus definitely has the upper hand, and even in quantity, because you get PS3, PS Vita, and PS4
Mhm.
all in one PlayStation Plus subscription. I don't know if they're going to continue the service on Xbox 360. I don't know. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. The free games for gold service. They'll give you a Perfect Dark Zero next year. Oh,
Oh boy, oh boy.
poor Perfect Dark. Poor Rare.
Mm.
Oh, poor Rare.
Uh,
Why haven't the people like from that studio like just banded together and did something else?
well,
Oh man.
most of them have left Rare, as we know
I
it
know that's what
today.
I mean. They've left. I
Yeah,
know
they
that
should
this
just form their own studio, kind of like what
yeah.
the 2 guys from Infinity Ward did.
Yeah, I know the Stamper Brothers. I don't think they're doing much these days.
Mhm.
I guess mobile games.
Yeah,
That is that. Oh man,
waste of
that's
talent.
exactly because those people were geniuses. Like just look up. I know there's this YouTuber. Trying to remember his name. I think it's Nostalgic Gamer 86. He does these retrospectives for games,
Yeah,
and he did one on Rare and the history of Rare.
yeah.
And it's so in-depth. It goes into each of their different franchises, Perfect Dark, the Donkey Kong Country series, Killer Instinct, GoldenEye. Like, it's so good. Look that up on YouTube if you're ever bored one day. There's hours of content because it's so in-depth. But anyway, moving on to our next story.
Yes, and our last story.
We were talking about Minecraft earlier, so Tryon announces Trove, a rip-off of Minecraft.
Pretty much free to play.
Because I'm looking at this reveal trailer, and man, it looks very similar to Minecraft.
Mm.
Man, that I'd be pissed if I was Mojang. But yeah, it's a world-building RPG that is going to be free to play. It's currently, I just said, it's currently, that's what I meant to say, accepting signups for their alpha. So, it's still early in its development cycle. But man, does this look like Minecraft.
Yeah. Everybody's trying to jump on the bandwagon.
Trust me, I know my younger brother, he has a tablet and all the Minecraft like I guess rip-offs like he'll download because since he loves Minecraft so much, I guess this works.
Mm-hmm.
If as long as they can get away with it, they'll make some sort of revenue from it if it's free to play. And I don't know how they're gonna charge players, maybe brick by brick. And to build a house, you need a bunch of, to spend a lot of money in the game. But yeah, this looks very similar to Minecraft, and it's the developers behind Rift and Defiance. And I know Defiance did horrible.
Yep.
That game tanked, and I don't know how well the TV series did. I never ended up watching it.
It got a season 2, I believe.
But yeah, hopefully maybe one day they'll add it to Netflix so I can check out the first season, because the series did look interesting, but the game, not so much for me. I thought it was a cool idea what they were trying to do to have the game influence the series and the series influence the game, but it just ended up, not working.
Yeah. I have heard that the game was alright. It wasn't bad. It was, good. Could have been better.
Yeah, I'm sure it could have been better. And it was a new IP, so I commend them for trying something.
Yep.
Even if it ended up failing.
Indeed. All right. Well, with that wraps up our news stories for this week. So we're going to dive into our been playing, been watching, and been reading section. So, Israel, what have you been playing this week? I've got a shit ton of stuff to go over. So.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, because this week's been, busy week outside of gaming. Trying to think what I played this week. I might have played a little bit more of Assassin's Creed 3. I tried to play Batman Arkham Origins again. Like, it's weird, like, the feelings I have for this game. I played it first, and I think I spoke about it in a previous podcast. I was like, I couldn't get into it. And then I tried a couple days later. Like, I got myself into the Batman mood by watching Batman Returns, which is, very similar in terms of the visual aspects of the game to the game and the film back and forth from Arkham City also. So I got myself in that mood. I started playing. I'm like, this is really cool. And then I stopped playing for a couple of days. I came back and I was like, I'm not feeling this. So I don't know what it is about that game. It just feels like there's some missing element that the Rocksteady games had that this doesn't have. It's not necessarily a bad game. It's just not up to the quality of the other games. There's just something missing. Maybe it is the voice acting that it isn't Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill, and the Joker isn't introduced right away.
Yeah.
It takes a couple hours to get to that section of the game, and I kind of figured out what was going to happen in the game, and I ended up listening to the X Factor like post-mortem about the game, and it was pretty much what I thought was going to happen. But it's not a bad game. I'm sure I'll pick it up once it drops in price again, because I actually got rid of it to get some like PS4 stuff. I'll like trade it in to Amazon.
Right on.
So yeah, it's not a bad game. So if you enjoy the other games, definitely give this one a shot. I don't think it's like terrible. I know some people are like, oh, this game is horrible. It's terrible. It's more of the same, and it is more of the same, but that doesn't necessarily make it bad. It's just I wasn't feeling it at the time. And I'm trying to think of what else I've been playing. I don't think I've been playing anything else. Oh yeah, there was. I played the Wii U. I played the Wii Sports and Wii, like the Wii Bowling and Wii Tennis that they just released. Now they're doing it. You could buy the each individual games $10 each, or you could do like it's strange how they're doing it. And instead of before when you got them all like in one package, like now, which is kind of cool in a way, because it depends on the price, because the original Wii Sports was either bundled with the system, or you could buy it separate for, I think it was maybe $20.
Yeah.
So it's kind of more expensive when you do this, but it does have online play. And I tried the free trial basically which you get like a 24-hour trial period, or you could just outright buy it for $10,
Yeah.
or you could rent it for $2-3. So I know I'll eventually just outright buy the games, like the tennis and the bowling,
Yeah.
but not right now, especially with the PS4 just coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And it was cool. They added the Wii Motion Plus functionality to the controls, but I didn't see that much of a drastic difference, honestly.
Yeah.
Because the game was already simple enough. It wasn't, too complex. So it was pretty cool. I think that's about it for this week.
Cool.
I know you got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, ever since Friday, I have played Killzone Shadowfall, Knack, Lego Marvel Superheroes, Resogun, and Contrast. And a bit of Flower. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot. If you don't mind, could you start with Knack? Because this game, people are crapping all over this game in terms of the review scores, and I want to hear your impressions. Is it, I expect it to be, at least a decent game, you know what I mean? I'm not expecting too much out of it.
Yeah. It is a decent game. I'm not sure if it was worth the $60 I paid for it, but the music in the game is great. Like, the visual style I really enjoy because it does look like a Pixar movie in most regards. Gameplay is a bit lacking. I mean, I can see where the review scores kind of went because you just have your basic attacks pretty much, and you have 1, 2, 3 special attacks that you can perform. But yeah, it really is kind of basic and really, really linear, but that was expected. I mean, I knew that was coming. It's fun, but I would say overall, I would probably give it around a 6.5.
It'd be more like a budget game to pick up.
Yeah.
To pick up down the line once
quite
it
honestly,
drops in price.
I'm surprised Sony didn't release it like they did with the Puppeteer for $39.99.
Yeah, $39.99.
Because that would have been the smart thing to do with Knack. But otherwise, it's a fun game, enjoyable. I'm probably going to do some live streaming of that at some point. Probably going through on hard, maybe collecting the rest of the trophies, whatever. But they're censored, so you won't get to see them anyway. We'll get to that in a bit. Okay, well, that's Knack.
Knack out of the way.
Yep. I'll go with the other big game, Killzone Shadowfall. Wow, this game looks pretty. God damn, this game ever looked pretty. I mean, it does feel like a next-gen game. It looks like a high-end
That's
PC
great.
game.
That is great to hear, because I've been hearing people that are like, oh, it looks good. Like they're not saying it's a step up from what we've seen this last console generation, at least on the consoles, not when it comes to, the PC, because there's been some ridiculous graphics on there, but there's been a lot of people that I've heard, they're like, it's a good looking game, but it's not that impressive. And the footage that I've seen, granted, it's on a small computer monitor, I'm like, this looks amazing. What are these people talking about?
Yeah, some of like the open area, really, like large open areas, you wouldn't expect like high levels of detail. You like expect some like lower resolution and whatnot, but man, everything is so well detailed in the game from what I've seen anyway. Loading times are really quick. That was the other thing about Knack too. I think I barely saw a loading screen in Knack. Like, it was so seamless from cutscene into actual gameplay. But yeah, Killzone, fantastic. Plays well. I haven't tried the multiplayer yet, just because I'm focusing on the single-player campaign. What else can I mention about it?
I'm excited to play Killzone, because I've always been a fan of the franchise, but I always felt they were like slightly off from like greatness, if you know what I mean. Like,
yeah.
And this seems like a game that it might break them through that barrier that they've always had, more to like a mainstream game.
Yep.
Because they've always had their audience, but it's always been like, I'm sure it's never going to get to the point of like a Call of Duty, but maybe, maybe more recognition, especially since it's a launch title. Most people are going to be like, and I think that's why they did it too. They were like, okay, let's put Killzone out at launch because it's not. It's a it's got its fan base, but it's not a huge franchise. It isn't
Yeah.
God of War, for example, and
hmm
more people will be exposed to it.
Yeah, and if there was ever like a game series to show like the quality of graphics outside of
Yeah,
Uncharted,
it's
of
always
course,
yeah, it's always been Killzone.
Killzone,
Yeah.
it's definitely the series to go with for that.
I forgot to ask you something about Knack.
Oh,
The voice acting for Knack, because that threw me off in the trailers. Like, you see this character, he's like, I'm like, is this Kratos talking? Like, and
he does have a deep voice, that's for sure.
like it looked like every time, like depending on how big Knack is, the voice changes.
Yeah,
Is that true? Right? Like if he's bigger, he has a deeper voice.
yeah, it does get deeper the bigger that he grows. It's kind of funny though.
That's what she said. Oh, that works so
Uh,
well in that situation.
yes. Yep. Okay, well, outside of those two games, I also picked up. God damn it.
Can't stop thinking about it. Oh yeah, so moving forward, I guess Lego Marvel
yes,
would be
yeah.
the next one.
Yeah, I picked up Lego Marvel afterwards, and man, that game looks gorgeous on the PS4. I mean, I don't know how well it looked on PS3, 360, PC, or whatever, because I held off because I wanted it for next gen, and I'm glad I did because it looks great. The voice acting, oh my god, the voice acting is amazing in the game. Simply because instead of going with like, oh, we'll just go with a bunch of voice actors, we don't care who they are, they actually went to a lot of like the older stuff, like a lot of the older cartoon series and whatnot, and
Hmm.
plucked people out from different ones and stuck them back into their roles again. Like, I'm pretty sure Spider-Man is voiced by the guy who did him on Spectacular Spider-Man.
Hmm.
I think so. I could be wrong there. It might be the old animated series, but he sounds very, very familiar. As far as the storyline goes, it's been good so far. I'm only in chapter 3 at the moment. I did a bit of live streaming on it last night. Um, but yeah, it's nice. There are quite a few references to the Avengers and whatnot. The opening mission with Hulk and Iron Man taking down Sandman and whatnot, you had Iron Man mentioning, didn't we just save this city? Stuff like
That's
that.
pretty funny.
Yeah.
I noticed too that I know you were saying about the voice actors,
hmm
they were getting them from the animated series.
Yep.
Some of them also like they were getting them to sound like their movie counterparts. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like they were trying to get someone to sound like Sam Jackson in a way, like sort of.
Yeah.
But which I thought was neat
hmm
to build off the movies also.
hmm Yeah, I have to say, I'm really enjoying the game so far. As a Marvel fanatic, this is probably the best Marvel game. I'm not even halfway through it yet, and I'm calling it that. But
Hmm.
since the first Ultimate Alliance game, really enjoying it. Characters are fun to play as, and yeah, definitely going to be diving into that more. Okay, well, outside the 3 big games, there was also the 2 free PlayStation Plus games, Resogun and Contrast. Resogun is addicting as hell. Very simple gameplay, like as you saw last night. It's very simple. You're
Mm.
shooting enemies, saving humans, and flinging them. Or, well, you can, drive them over to the little pickup zones, but I like to fling them. It's more fun that way. But putting them in there, saving them, getting points, and the high score system is what's going to keep you addicting to that game.
Hmm.
Visually, it looks great. The music is phenomenal in that game. So good. That reminds me of another feature too. The speaker on the controller. During Resogun, you get like your instructions from it, like if collectors pop up, enemies that you got to kill in order to save humans from their little jail cells. All
Hmm.
voices are directed out of the microphone's controller, so that's awesome.
That's pretty cool.
Going back to Killzone, the audio logs you can collect in the game, they play from that speaker in the controller, which
That's
is,
pretty cool too.
yeah, not to mention it frightened the fucking shit out of me the first time it happened, because that speaker is not quiet. So I picked up an audio log thinking, oh, I gotta hit a button now in order for it to play, but it plays automatically and like blasted out of the controller at me. It's like, holy fuck, what the hell?
Could
But
you tweak that? Because I know it's similar to like the Wiimote where you could
yeah,
raise and lower the volume. Okay.
yep, there
That's good
is
to
a,
know because sometimes you don't want it to like blast, like you were saying, and scare the crap out of you.
yeah, there is a volume control in the settings. Outside of Resogun, Contrast is really interesting. I'm not sure if I'm like set on it yet, but it's nice. The story is really good. Um, kind of dark.
Hmm.
Kind of really dark in some instances, especially if you pick up the little like collectibles that are around. They tell you a little bit more of the backstory and what's going on. It's going to be one of those games for sure that after you finish playing, like, wow, that did not have an happy ending. I'm not done yet, but I
Hmm.
cannot see the game having an happy ending. Kind of like Limbo in that matter for tone, I guess. Except you have a lot more talking going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, Contrast's pretty fun. And the last game to mention is Flower, which I loved Flower on the PS3. And Flower on the PS4, oh my god, 1080p, 60 frames per second. That is the absolute most gorgeous thing I have played on the PS4 thus far. And the new 6-axis controls and the DualShock 4 is like gives you a tighter control over wind. That's something else that could be said out of context, but yeah, the game plays extremely well in Flower. If you don't already own it, please do so. And if you already do own it, you get it for free already on PlayStation 4 because it is cross-buy between PS4, PS3, and PlayStation Vita. So there is no excuse for not downloading and playing it again.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna download that because I do have it on that Journeys Collector's Edition.
Hmm.
But I do want to play it in 1080p on 60 frames a second because I've never played the game and I enjoyed Journey so much. Even if I have like the collection, I just never got around to playing it.
Yeah.
So it seems great because I think it's what like $6, $7, something like that. It's not too much.
It's $15, I believe, or $10.
Oh, really?
I
Oh, let
think
me
it.
check.
I think it might be $10.
All right. It's still not too bad though.
No, not at all. I mean, for that kind of game, it's pretty good. And I'm sure there will be sales going on in the future and whatnot. So scoop it up whenever you can.
Flower. I'm checking because I know like Amazon has like a PlayStation Network store now.
Okay, yeah. And
Yeah.
besides, I mean, for $15, you're technically getting 3 games right there.
Mm. Yeah, because it runs. Oh yeah, $6.99
Oh,
on PS4. So yeah, it's $7. So
oh
it's a
wow.
half.
Yeah, there you go.
Even better.
Go buy Flower.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think that does it for our been playing section. So let's move on to our been watching section. And I guess I'll go first this week. And that's, I've got 2 shows to mention here. The first of which is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which keeps getting better and better. More Marvel lore being explored. We got introduced to a bit more of S.H.I.E.L.D. in this episode. What's his name? Agent Sitwell returned, the Asian guy from Thor, the agent that was with Coulson.
Mhm.
He's back in. He was in the episode, which was great. He's extremely funny. And we were also introduced to another Marvel character in Victoria Hand, who played a really prominent role during Marvel's whole Dark Reign series, where Norman Osborn was in control of S.H.I.E.L.D., and she was his right-hand man, so to speak. So it was interesting to see her, and she looks, the actress that they had playing her looked spot on for the role.
Mm-hmm.
But now we get to my other show, which is South Park this past week, which probably had the best episode of its season thus far, because it took three great things, three great topical things, and rolled it all up into one package. We got Black Friday, which is coming up. We got the console wars, PS4 and Xbox One, and Game of Thrones, all rolled into one nice little package. So yeah, the console wars as if they were Game of Thrones played by 8-year-olds. The main premise was that the mall in the town of South Park, they're going to be offering 80% off anything for the first 30 people that get into the mall. And the boys, of course, they're all dressed out in their Stick of Truth costumes. And, they're planning on going to the mall at Black Friday and being some of the first 30 people in line so that they can buy the systems 80% off, which would be incredible, mind you. And, they kind of divide a little bit with some of the kids, Jimmy, Stan, and some of the other ones going with PS4, and you've got Cartman, Kyle, and Kenny, and a whole batch of others going for the Xbox One, so you get that. And of course, with Randy, you get a side story with him being a security guard at the mall, with him at first saying that he's there to earn some extra cash for the holiday season, that he has his own plans for Black Friday, and I'll leave it at that. But his side story is actually kind of like a Night's Watch side story, so that was pretty cool.
Hilarious that they were able to put all that together. I haven't watched the episode yet, but I heard it was hilarious.
Oh, it's one of the best ones since Make Love Not Warcraft. It's definitely up there. And Butters is actually amazing in the episode from his own commentary about Game of Thrones itself, which is worth watching the episode to hear alone because it's so fucking funny, as per usual with Butters. Alright, well, that's my been watching this week.
I've been watching this week Total Divas.
Really?
Yeah. The fucking the second half of the first season just started. Man, I'm hooked on this show. I'm kind of embarrassed to say it because when they were doing the promotion leading up to the first season, I was like, I'm not gonna watch this shit. I'm not gonna watch this. But they just hook you in as a wrestling fan with all the backstage politics and all who's got heat with who and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed this season. It's always drama and stuff with the divas, but it's an entertaining show. And I've actually enjoyed it, which is I originally thought it was going to be just a bunch of cat fights and all this stuff, but it's cool. You can see behind the scenes, especially the different relationships that they have with the wrestlers, especially the Bella Twins with John Cena and Daniel Bryan. So it's cool to see that behind the scenes stuff. So yeah, I've enjoyed it and I recommend it to wrestling fans. So.
Nope, not doing it. Not a chance.
Don't do it, man, because then you'll be addicted. You're like, oh, is it Sunday yet? Yeah, a new episode tonight.
I read the wrestling wrap-up on IGN every week, and I've heard enough about it from Matt Fowler and his thoughts on the show. I know well enough. No, I am never watching that crap.
It's entertaining. I enjoy it. It's something, get your mind off of other things and just sit back and relax. And it's not like what you're watching is, got bad-looking women either, so they're attractive.
True.
So Yeah, I missed last week's Walking Dead episode, like I was talking to you earlier.
Hmm.
I
New one
also,
starts soon.
yeah, the new one starts, yeah, in a couple, like a little over an hour.
Hmm.
And Comic Book Man, I missed it last week also, so yeah, I haven't been watching much. I did say I finally watched the Avengers movie,
Hmm.
which took me forever to watch. I don't know why, because I enjoy those comic book movies, and I saw like Iron Man 3 and like all like the movies before, and even like Iron Man 3, which occurs after,
Hmm.
and I just never sat down and watched Avengers, and it was pretty badass. It was really entertaining to see all these characters in one movie, and I was surprised how many like fight scenes that they had between the characters. I thought that was something really cool,
Yep.
and I definitely really enjoyed it. I actually want to see the new Thor movie.
It's really good.
Yeah, and I gotta see that pretty soon. Hopefully one of these days I have off. I'll
Hmm.
go check it out. I think next Saturday I might have off, so I might go check it out then.
Hmm. Well worth it. Well worth it. I've actually seen it twice now myself.
That's pretty good, yeah.
And just remember to stay all the way through the end credits, because
Oh yeah, as always, they always do those little teasers at the end.
hmm there's two in this one. Just so
Oh
you know.
really?
Yep.
Yeah, I was gonna ask what it was about, but yeah, I think I have an idea because the next big movie that they're doing.
Hmm. All right. Well, I haven't been reading anything this week. You?
Nope.
Alrighty then. So let's move on straight to our shameless self-promotion section. And, well, pretty much all I've got to promote this week is that I've started doing live streams now, thanks to the PlayStation 4, and you can always stay tuned to my Twitter and know when I'm going to go live. And I'll probably post up videos on YouTube saying I'm going live as well. So,
And you'll get censored trophies.
yes, they're just too damn sexy. They can't be seen.
Yeah, that was pretty funny when that, that popped up, and I was like, "What is that? Why is that blurred out?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's a trophy."
Yeah.
That is hilarious. Oh man.
Yeah, as I was playing, I was like, I looked over at the screen after a trophy popped, like, just to check the chat room, and I saw like the black on the screen. It's like, oh fuck, stream's messed up. But
Mhm.
it was on the TV. It's like, wait, what? Oh, that's where the trophy was. I guess they don't want like hidden trophies shown, but still.
Yeah, maybe some people don't want to be exposed to that. I guess.
Mm,
But it's kind of strange though because if you're watching the stream,
yeah.
you're gonna see what it's about. If you know what
Yeah,
I mean. Like
exactly.
usually, like if you don't want to look at trophies because maybe there's like some sort of story spoiler or something like that, right?
Yep.
You're seeing it in the stream, so
Hmm.
I don't know. It's kind of strange.
Yeah. Other than that, I haven't seen any censoring issues otherwise. I was doing a little bit of Lego Marvel last night and even went through a cutscene and that was shown, so who knows? Maybe that'll be happen more often later on, but as of right now, not really, just the trophies popping. Outside of that, I don't think I have anything else to promote. Probably going to do another AVGN video soon, but yeah, who knows?
I need to check that out. I haven't watched the other ones you've done so far.
Hmm.
And I've wanted to see, some footage on that game. I hope it comes to console soon. I know it's supposed to come to the Wii U somehow, but
Hmm.
I don't know what happened.
Oh. Alright, what about yourself? Anything to promote this week?
Not really, because as we talked about earlier, the PS4 launch didn't go as smoothly for me, so it really kind of ruined my schedule. I was planning to finally post some videos to the Project PlayStation YouTube channel, but hopefully I'll do that tomorrow
Hmm.
when I get the console in. It probably won't be an unboxing. It's just probably my impressions of like the controller
Hmm.
and the console itself.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Maybe
well,
some other
nobody
stuff.
else has done an unboxing video yet.
Yeah, yeah. Everybody and their mother. Like even, Shuhei did an unboxing.
Hmm.
Boogie did an unboxing. Like IGN did an unboxing. Like
Suki.
everybody. Yeah, man, it's crazy how many unboxings there are.
Hmm. do a deboxing, put everything back into the box.
I know Games Radar actually did that, which I thought was pretty funny. They were like reboxing or something like that. They called it.
Fair enough. All right. Well, with that in mind, then we're nearing the end of the show. So, guys, questions and I think I can almost hear myself in the background. So, guys, questions and comments for future podcasts. Please leave us your questions. Ask us anything about our experience with the PlayStation 4. We'll answer it in the comment section down below and on next week's show. Comment, like, did you pick up a PS4? What are your thoughts on the games? Do you like Knack? Do you think it's a piece of shit? Who do you agree with? And any comment on, like, the stories that we covered this week, or stories that we didn't cover that you want us to talk about next week? Because we'll go back to it. We have no problem digging into the well and pulling out other shit. But yeah. And if you ask a question or comment, you can win a free game. And the free game that I will throw out right now, since Israel mentioned Batman earlier in the show, a copy of Batman Arkham City. I was going to say Asylum there, but
You're about to say Asylum.
Yeah, Arkham City can be yours. The Game of the Year edition, too. If you leave a question or comment this week. And with that, I do believe we're finished. So, Israel, would you do the honors this week and take us out?
Oh, man, I didn't get the Ultimate Warrior promo. We'll wait for Dr. Let's to do that. I still need him to do Ultimate Warrior promo. But yeah, thanks everybody for checking this podcast out. As Lord X said, leave us some comments or questions. Let us know what you think about the PS4. I'm sure we'll talk about the Xbox One next week, even if we're not getting it.
A friend of mine is getting it, so I don't know. I might be at his place checking it out, so who knows?
Okay, that'll be cool. And I know, like one of my local Microsoft stores, my buddy texted me that they have a demo kiosk, and he played Killer Instinct, and he said it was badass. Mm-hmm. And I'm kind of hesitant to go because I don't want to be like, oh, I need this, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But maybe I'll check that out, like, before the next episode of the podcast. Mm-hmm. But yeah, thanks for checking us out, and we'll catch you guys next week. Peace.
Combo breaker.